It was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be
forward.
like a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
My name was Loazi Mpanza. I'm a feminist, I'm an activist, I'm somebody's wife, and I'm a researcher. I also identify as a lesbian black woman.
I'm Taylor, I'm Pretorius. I'm a single mum. I've been married twice, divorced, not very happy with men. My daughter and I'm also feminist activists. And yes, I love plants and dogs, and that's all.
My name is Gail Meek Baltimore. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. I'm a caregiver to my mother who has advanced vascular dementia. I'm an environmentalist, and I'm every woman. I can be whatever you want me to be.
Well, I'm not a gender expert, or what I know or what I've seen is everything that has been learned from inequality, right? But I strongly believe that both men and women have a contribution towards the patriarchal society that we live in. I don't know what you think. I don't know what you think. I don't know if you think patriarchy exists. I don't know, I can just hear from you. What has been your experiences around patriarchy?
In previous workplaces, I've experienced unfair, how can I say, management from male bosses, where if you don't sleep with the boss, you don't get a position. So I've experienced that in my life. I've also experienced, as a child, abuse from men. I don't know if that counts, if that's what we're talking about. Yeah, but I do feel that men think that they've got a power over women that actually don't exist. I think we're all equal and should be treated equally.
I believe that patriarchy, I can never say the word, patriarchy is men over the beginning of time wanting to control women, wanting to be the boss of somebody.
Yeah.
It's when you look at how men and women are, they say that men are physically stronger and that men could never have babies. It's not just that. I think it's more than that. I think it's the way we think, it's the way we behave, it's the way we coordinate, it's the way we put things together. That's why we're in charge of the home.
So I was working in a corporate company at 24, full of life, full of passion, but my problems started to begin with money, where, I'd say a white gentleman came in. He was new, straight from varsity, and I was expected to train this young man. We were basically doing the same job. And remember that in the workspace, our contracts say that we should never disclose how much we earn or discuss salaries and that. So the one time on a Saturday when I was training the guy, he had left his pay slip opened on his desk, and I was kind of packing up. The guy was getting paid 3 times more my salary. He found it, I trained him, and I got a shock of my life. I just couldn't hold it in. I'm not one to pretend as if things are okay, knowing very well that they're not. So I thought, I'm going to take this up with my boss. So I went to see my boss, scheduled a meeting. I think for some reason, I think he knew what I was going to discuss with him, because obviously he wanted feedback from time to time from the guy that I was training.
Yes.
And then I gave it to him up front. I was told that now we'll be discussing finances. And then he said to me, no, but they're lines of communication. immediately when he said that, I was like, oh shit, here comes power, right? But anyways, eventually I got to have a conversation, a discussion with him around the whole ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually put it out there to say how it came about. And he said to me, but Lee, you're a woman. And this is a man and he's got children. I do not have biological kids. So I was told that this is a man, he's supposed to take care of his children, his wife. And I'm thinking, but
what about you?
what about me? You know,
Yeah.
how do I actually get to plan my future proactively to actually sustain myself? The only thing that brings us to the workplace is passion, but the center is money. We've got to be able to live
100%.
and sustain our livelihoods. And that's what gave birth to me leaving the corporate place to say, you know what, as a woman, 1, 2, Black, 3, lesbian, my place is in the struggle.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
leaving.
yeah. Yes.
That's where I belong. And this will take years to dismantle, because you bind it by this contract that you sign for employment. So breaking those boundaries will take some time, but how about I go out and explore other avenues?
I even also left corporate industry because of all of these reasons. I'm also now working as a freelancer most of the time because I've just had, my whole life has been abused in the workplace in different ways, that I also got to that point where I don't work for a boss anymore. I work for myself. I'm a freelancer in real estate and in other businesses. And, you know, so for that reason that I don't get abused anymore, that, you know, you have control over your own life and emotions.
The one time I was home with my wife and we were expecting some handyman to come fix our bathroom. But it subconsciously, we had locked ourselves in the one room while the men were busy in the house. So do you understand how being with a man in one room,
In your space.
in my space, imagine being that uncomfortable in my space, has sort of made it normal to have a different kind of way of living, and it's a new way of surviving, you know?
I've had 2 experiences that really stand out to me. One, I worked at the South African Embassy in Washington, D.C. And we had a president come in one time, and you know when someone shakes your hand and then they scratch your palm.
Oh yes.
And you know, and you're supposed to know what that means. And when I complained to my ambassador, I was looked at and was like, okay, manje, like, and you know, and because of what was going on, and you know, when you get embassy visits, it's always hectic. So there's never really time to sit down and say, you know, by the way, that what I was trying to say about this such and such person. So that for me left a horrible taste in my mouth. And I think it was at that stage that I just really just put my foot down and was like, just, you know, but before that, I just probably living in Hillbrow back in the day when Hillbrow was still the place to be. And my roommate at the time had come home to Durban to visit her family. And I was at home alone. Her boyfriend came by the apartment and said that, and buzzed, because, you know, they had those buzzers and we lived upstairs. So he buzzed to say that she had left something behind for him. So, I mean, you know, he had been to the apartment before. It's my roommate's boyfriend. We hung out together, great stuff, he was coming to pick up something. I was just going to give it to him, and that was it. Because he worked as a bouncer, which meant that by the time he came round to my place was about 4 or 5 in the morning. So we had security downstairs. I felt safe. Again, I knew this person Long story short, I wound up at the police station that following morning or a few hours thereafter, trying to lay a charge, the Hillbrow police station, to lay a charge to say that this young man had raped me. And there were about 3 policemen at the charge desk and asked me, why did I let him in? Who's to blame now because I let this person in? And what are they, as the police, are supposed to do? I walked out of there and knew that I was on my own. And it really changed my life a lot, because I made sure that, never to be alone with someone. I became paranoid. And it took me many years to actually be comfortable, even around someone who would really just be innocent. But I also think that why I felt the way I felt at the time, yes, it was about the violation that I had just experienced, but it was the fact that nobody listened to me. Yes, they would question me like I did something wrong. And I believe in South Africa that still hasn't changed.
I think the change begins with teaching our boy children differently and our girl children differently. I think mostly the boy child is ignored. Meanwhile, they need to be taught differently so that they come to this socialized society and desocialize all these wrong patriarchal traits.
Definitely.
It begins with us. Well, I teach my nephews to be better men. I'm doing a brilliant job because I've got amazing nephews.
Wonderful, wonderful.
To dismantle what has always been there and what we still see today is about how we bring up our
100%, 100%.
The independence with our girl children is very, very important.
We tell our boys, don't cry when you fall. We tell our boys not to be a sissy and be emotional if somebody teases him. We teach our boys to lock up or cement their emotions and not allow themselves to be vulnerable. We do that. And I think that we need to start there. In what it is we teach our young boys. It's okay to cry. It's okay to show affection to someone other than your family. It's okay to hug. It's okay to be mad too.
My dream is for parents to wake up. You must teach a child values and respect, because that child is going to carry it over to another person.
My dream is that someday, very soon, that all we know is to just love one another, because with love comes respect. And when you respect somebody, you respect who they are, what they are, where they're from, and how they think.
Well, my dream is seeing women live never to normalize patriarchy.
Yazi, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.